Hi and welcome to another Type With Me. In today's video I want to talk about the new navigation API. It's a real game changer for the browser and for your web application. So I'm looking forward to it to show you what it is. So first of all, let's do some comparison because we have the history API, right? So when you are building single page applications, you know that you have a history API. Why? When you navigate from one page to another page, well, the magic happens in the browser, right? And not going from the browser to the client, to the from the server to the client, from the server to the client, from the server to the client. Some magic needs to happen, right? So the purpose of the history API is managing browser history entries, and the navigation API manages and intercepts navigations. The core methods of the history API, maybe you are already familiar with that, is the push state and the replace state. And with the navigation API, we have the navigation.navigate. We have certain events that we can subscribe to. For the history API, it's the pop state. And for the navigation API, it's the navigate event. Handles link clicks. Well, manual intervention is needed for the history API. For the navigation API, it's built in. Handles back and forward. Well, that's unified handling, and that's in the navigation API. Well, it's limited with the history API. Central navigation event. Well, we have that with navigation API. Asynchronous navigation support. Well, that's with the navigation API. Navigation interception, we have that with event.intercept. So we can listen to the navigate event and then we can intercept it and say, don't go to the server, just handle it locally within your client, which is, I think, a real big game changer, right? Please give your idea or what you think about that in the comments below, because I'm really interested in what you guys think of it. But single page API routing, it requires a custom logic, and for the navigation API, it's been designed for single page applications, which is really great. Then we have the history entry metadata, where we have very limited in the history API, and we have a rich state and info within the navigation API, so you can really go deeply into the objects that you get back from the navigation API. Developer ergonomics, well, boilerplate heavy for the history API. For the navigation API, it's clean and modern, and it looks really, really great. So we have the browser support. It's been supported in all browsers. And for the navigation API, it's modern browsers only. Then we have the future proof. Well, for the history API, it's legacy, right? And navigation is the modern standard way forward. So I hope you guys will use it in the future, but be aware that it's still very, very new. So if we go to the MDN website, we get that the navigation property is working across the latest devices and browser versions, and this feature might not work in older devices or browsers. So yeah, you can start using it with the newest ones, right? Well, I made some small example for you guys, some small index.html, where you will see that it has some CSS, it has basic navigation there, and then we can provide routes with HTML, and then we can render certain things. And of course, we just fall back with classical single page application approach. So if I do npx serve, we can provide for you guys a URL, and I can show you how this looks like within the browser. So to really understand properly, I have here my page, and here you will see that we have, if navigation is in window, we do navigation.add event listener navigate, and then we can look into the URL. So what we do here is we have settings, and here we have /settings, right? Here we make a URL out of it. Say here url.path, slash settings. So that's been known there as well. Then we have the event.intercept. So now we intercept the browser and say, hey, the application needs to do something about it. Yeah? So we are doing it ourselves. And then of course we can render out everything. So what we do right here is do this. We go here, add class loading, and we just wait a little bit because that's a fake thing, of course. But then here we do a render of the part with the name into it, and here we see, okay, we have slash settings. Slash settings is this one, and then we do app.inner HTML. Here you see which part of it is that, and it changes. So same thing here with the about, and the about changes, right? You can do the same with home, and then you go back to home. One thing you still need to know, and I think that's a very important one, is when we have this one, and then I do here refresh on the slash about, we don't find any content because it's server to client, right? So that's still something. I can quickly show you how this looks like when we have we say here this is false, right? Just to quickly show you that we go into the else statement and then classic single page application approach. So you see what then the downfalls are, right? So if I now go here towards the application, so navigation API is not supported. Here we go to this one, and here we go to this one. So then you see here we listen to the click. Here we had this one to the push state, right? And we render things out. But also here, if you refresh on the slash about, it will not work. So same kind of problems. But you need to manage a lot of the things yourself, right? So that's actually the biggest downfall of it. I think with the navigation API, it really is going to be much nicer. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something about it. I learned a lot about it. I think it's a great way forward. I'm looking forward to see the navigation API into the single page application frameworks. I'm also very curious what you guys think of it. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one.